Hello everyone. So in today's video lecture, we will be trying to understand the definition of epidemiology. Now, to understand this definition, let's take this scenario where this is our country and these are the green population, the healthy ones, the red are the disease and the blue population are nothing but the big brains, the scientists, the doctors and the epidemiologists. Okay, so let's take an example of recent pandemic, that is COVID. Now, as you can see in the, so this is just a scenario. Okay, so in the entire country there is just the green population, they are the healthy ones. So this is, as I said, this is just a scenario. So let's suppose everyone in the country is healthy. So when I googled about COVID, the first case, it told me that there is this some person who traveled from Wuhan till Kerala and then from there it spread across. Okay, so a highly infective virus has entered into one person. Now, what do you think will happen? So this person has come back all the way from China till India. So in between the travel, he might have spread the disease or spread the virus to many people. So all of them are coming back to India. But the first case reported was this person. So as you can see, one person has turned into red. Okay, so this red person is the deceased person. So what do you think can happen? As we know, this is highly contagious disease that we know now. We didn't know that, but now we know, thanks to the community medicine and everything that we studied. And that is the point of studying this subject. If there is something unknown, we have to research on that, study on that, take a population. So that is basically the epidemiology. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to explain here. So this person who has turned into red or deceased, so this is the primary case or the first case that was officially reported. There might have been many cases at the same point in the country, because the travel was there from all the countries, say China or any other countries maybe, but this was the first case reported. Now this person who has this incredibly dangerous virus, he doesn't know what he has brought to the country. So now the person is unaware of the virus. So as usual, he will be living with his family, friends. So now this infected person has good amount of tendency or great potential to spread the disease to his family or maybe friends or whoever to his near vicinity. So as usual, the virus will be spread from this one person to, let's suppose, his 4 family people and 4 friends, and these people again, they will transmit the virus to their vicinity. So from one person it has become a family, then from one family it spread across its neighborhood, and let's suppose if they are in village or town, so this will spread to the village or town in an exponential manner from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and this kind of manner. So as you can see, this kind of pattern is generated like a Wi-Fi signal. So as you might have seen in movies, like what is that movie, the Bodhidharman movie, it's like a zombie apocalypse, right? So from one person it has transmitted to his family, then his friends and whoever was his vicinity, and everyone across the village and town, and then slowly it increased. So we are just taking an imaginary situation. This is not how it happens. Okay, so he was just the officially reported first case, but there might have been thousands of other cases which were sitting in different parts of the country that was not reported maybe. Okay, later on they might have been reported. So just to understand what is the definition of the epidemiology, we're just trying to create some sense out of this. Okay, so as you can see, there are like these vector forces which are pointing outside or pointing away from the point source. Who was the point source? The first person who had come back from the China. So from there it is spreading all the way, like as I told, it goes exponentially. So this first person who is like the first hit, like as we say in terms of cancer, we say the first hit or the second hit. Okay, so somehow just correlating with the things, let's suppose this was the first hit. So under the definition of the epidemiology, there is this term called as occurrence, and this occurrence term is nothing but the start of the event. So what was the start of the event? At this point we are talking about India, so the start of the point was the first person who had come back from the from the China, but the overall start of the event in the entire world is from the China, that is there. Okay, so this is the occurrence where the first case happened, and from there how it spread across. Okay, so this is how. So we understood the term meaning occurrence under the definition of the epidemiology. Now let's understand what is distribution. So this is also important. As I told, from the first person it spread to 2 and then 4 and then the village and then the town and then the entire country. So that is the distribution. So that person who has come back from the China, Okay, the gift from the China, that is the virus, he has come and given to the entire country. So it's like he distributed the virus, okay, to the population, to the entire population. So that is the distribution. Now this distribution depends on many things. Okay, the spread, how the spread is increasing, like how fast it is spreading or how dangerous it is. There are many factors which determines this distribution. So in the definition of epidemiology, they use this line: distribution of the health related events, states and processes. Now let's understand what he is trying to say. What do we mean by events and states and processes? So what do we mean by events? Events means, so the event, like when it occurred, like COVID-19. If you events, what do we mean by events? Something is happening, something special is happening, or something not so special is happening, or some disease is happening, or whatever the thing is happening across the globe. All these are events, right? So similar way, for example, at this point it is COVID-19, and for some other example it can be of any other disease outbreak. So that is the event. Okay, and why is this event important? Because this is our concern. If the disease is highly infectious, this infectiousness of the disease is our concern. Because if the disease, let's suppose I have got cancer and the cancer is not infectious, so that's not of much of a danger to the country, because I'm not spreading it, I'm not able to spread it. Maybe I'll die, but that it is not involving the entire nation. I'm not involving the entire nation or entire family or the locality. But if there is an infectious disease where the huge population or groups of people falls under that, then there is a headache for the country. Okay, so that's why event is important and it is under the definition. Then what about states? What do we mean by states? State means the condition of the person. Now I am someone who is suffering from the COVID-19. So what is my condition at this point? Whether I am healthy or am I deceased, or if I am deceased, whether did I recover or did I die, or what happened, what complication happened. So this is the state of the person, either he is in good state or bad state. Okay, either he is infected or infected. So this also comes under the definition of the epidemiology, the state or the condition of the health of the person. Okay, why is this important to know? At this point, by understanding the state of the person who has got infected with the virus, with that virus or with that disease, if we know ki, okay, this virus has entered to this population of people, but still they are healthy, they are not diseased, so that's not of a headache. But if we come to an understanding that this virus has entered this group of people or this population, and this population is now diseased and almost everyone is dying there, nobody is recovering, or it is severe, so that is again a headache. Okay, so that is why the state of the person is important to know, the condition of the health. Because if the majority of the people are dying and not recovering, then it becomes a major health concern to the country. Hence, it helps in understanding the disease burden. Yes, so now let's talk about the processes. So if we are talking about the processes, what does it mean? Okay, so the process here is nothing but the behavior of the disease, or how the disease is acting. Okay, now under this we will be trying to understand the disease response or the disease progression and the immune response. So the behavior of the disease depends on these two factors. How is the disease, like what is the characteristic of the disease, how it is progressing, and how our body is trying to defend against this virus or the disease. So that is the immune response. So if our immune response is great against these viruses or diseases, then that is good. So we will be able to, our body will be able to fight against these viruses. So with these two things, one is the progression of the disease and our immune response, these two things can collectively tell us about the severity, right? Like whether it is mild or moderate or severe, how severe the disease is. Okay, so something like that. So processes means that thing. Here two things are involved. One is our immune response, the other one is how dangerous or what is the progression of the disease. So if it is progressing, that means our immune system is not so much able to handle the disease. If the disease has occurred, let's suppose the disease has occurred to groups of people, but their immune system is healthy, it is active and strong, so that will not be so much of concern. Okay, so that is why these two things are important in processes, how the disease is progressing. Okay, so we are done with the processes, and this was all about the distribution of health related events, states and processes. Okay, this has given us the bigger picture, right? So yeah, let's quickly just review whatever I have told. So we had this term, the distribution, which means the spread of the disease, the spread of the disease to either people or groups or any other places. So and under this we have three subheadings: the events, states, and processes. Events means the occurrence, like the COVID-19 has happened, that was an event, or any other disease outbreak, that will be another event. Then state, what about the state of the or the condition of the person, whether he is healthy, unhealthy, dead, alive, or severe, moderate, whatever that is. Okay, so that is state. And then the process. So the process is here nothing but it is the response of our immune system and the progression of the disease, whether the disease is progressing or not. So that was about the second thing that in the definition they have given, the distribution of the health related things. Okay, and the third thing we have is the determinants. Okay, determinants means here what, so the simple basic meaning of the determinants is nothing but it is determining. What it is determining? It is determining the, again, the severity, preconditioned factors. So under the determinants we have so many kinds, okay, like which are responsible or which determines how our health will be, either it is before disease or during the disease or after the disease. So the first determinant is the biological determinants, under which, so biological means what, that depends on our genes or our age. Okay, so yeah, these are like if the person has some comorbidities, so it is obvious that any kind of super added infections or infections will cause more harm to the person. Okay, it will be far more dangerous for that person if he has any like genetic conditions or any other comorbidities like diabetes or hypertension or etc. Then we have the environmental determinants like the pollution or the sanitation. These also plays very crucial role in progression of the disease or the severity of the disease. Then there is social determinants like the income, education, occupation, access to healthcare. So all these things also plays very crucial role, which determines overall these things determines how the disease will trouble us, or how the disease will cause its effects on us. So if I have got COVID and everything is fine in me, like from my genetics till the healthcare, like the environment is good, my social determinants are good, income, education, occupation, everything is good, healthcare availability, accessibility, and quality, everything is perfect. So in that case, there is very good chance or extremely good chance that COVID will not much affect me. Okay, so that is not much of a headache. But if these things are not proper, maybe some other person's genetics is not good, he has some comorbidities, maybe his environment is not good, there is no sanitation, poor sanitation, maybe his income is low, he is not so much educated, occupation is also not so much in his favor, or he does not have any healthcare access, okay, or even if he has, the quality is not good. So all these things, so two persons, one at one end I was getting everything proper, at other end this person was not getting. So it's like the two polarities. Okay, at one end I had everything which is proper and good, and the other point or the other end, this person, okay, everything is not so much favorable for him. So what do you think will happen? So he will suffer more than me. So that's the thing. So these are the determinants which is determining the suffering of the person or suffering of the group of people or burden of the disease. Okay, that is why this is also under the definition of the epidemiology. So as we have understood the first line, that was the occurrence, then the second term was the distribution, and the third term was the determinants. After all this, we understood about the disease that is happening in the country. Now we won't sit quiet, we need to do something. We need to do something because this is a major health concern. It is not just he or him, it's not like he has got the disease, she has got the disease, they have got the disease, I will not get the disease. No, I will also get the disease. There is good chance because the disease spreads. The disease is spreading to the entire nation. So now here comes the application of the knowledge, whatever people have gained throughout their years and experience and everything, research. So application of this knowledge in order to control or prevent or treat or make vaccines, whatever it is. So it is not just the studying of the disease, it is the application also. That is why in the definition they have included the application of the entire medical knowledge in order to control the diseases or help the population to eliminate the diseases or to make vaccines. So let's see about how these people are trying, and who are the people who will put their big brains, try to control the disease, okay, and apply their medical knowledge. So these are nothing but these blue people, the medical professionals, the doctors, epidemiologists, scientists, and statisticians, all the researchers. So all of these people, they come together, they see what's happening, they try to understand how severe, not severe. So as you can see here, I've shown the people here. So these are the groups of scientists and researchers and epidemiologists, community medicine people also. So all these people have come there. So what are these blue people doing? So these people, they're trying to catch hold on a certain group of people, okay, or a certain population, and they are actually at this point nobody knows what's happening in the country, right? Like this is the new virus. So even these people, maybe yeah, there was some information about it, but not so much because this is new outbreak. So even they don't know at this point what to be done, what not to be done, everything. So initially all of them will ask the same question ki, okay, what's happening at this place? So here what is happening is one question, and at this place means we are also considering a particular area or a locality, okay, or a population. That is the geographical thing. So what is happening here? And then these people asks a list of questions or bunch of questions that will kind of help in understanding the disease. Okay, like as we had our first question, like what is happening here. Then we have who are the people living here, how it all started, how is it spreading, what are the clinical features of the disease, what is the severity of the disease, what do we know about the disease, if there is any previous data, what is the incubation period, what are the environmental factors, what is the attitude of the people, whether they are educated, non-educated. So all these things, if you paying little attention to this lecture, you will understand that we have talked all about this in our previous, like few minutes ago, in the definition itself, like about the severity, locality, all the determinants, or about the infection or the infectiousness. Okay, so at the end these are all the questions that needs an answer, and to get the answer it needs proper research, time, okay, the knowledge of medicine, the knowledge of infectious diseases, the microbiology and everything. And after asking all these questions, what are we trying to figure out? We have to come up with some ideas. Okay, so just by asking the question will not help to not help in controlling the pandemics. Okay, but yeah, that is the first step. The next thing is to come up with answers and solutions, okay, and preventable steps, so that next time if something similar happens we are already prepared. This is just like the immunity of our body. Okay, so one is prevention, the treatment, okay, and how to control, what to do, what not to do, all these things, okay, comes under all the whatever we have talked. So this is the whole picture. If you want to take a screenshot you can take it. Anyways, I will share the notes. So at the end, like we have talked about so much, just the definition. Okay, the definition itself was so huge that it is summarizing the entire epidemiology chapter. Okay, so yeah, obviously there is still many things to be read, all the kind of studies like descriptive studies, analytical studies, and all these things we'll study in further videos. But this was like this is the starting of the chapter. So yeah, this was like a brief idea what will be happening in the entire chapter, what all questions will be asked repeatedly, and how to go about it, how the research things works, okay, how all these people, the groups of scientists or epidemiologists, how do they go about controlling these diseases, how do they study, all these questions will be asked and answered. Okay, and that is properly given in the park, obviously. So we are coming towards the end of the video, and if we have to rearrange the definition, like if you just open the textbook, park textbook, the huge textbook, and if you just scroll down and go to the definition of the epidemiology, okay, they have given like a paragraph. So if you read that, it will be very confusing. So if there is any way we can rearrange the sentences so that if it is helpful in any way to remember. So I felt that little difficult to remember the definition because nothing made sense at first. But then after I little bit studied about all these things, I don't know how much I am to the point with the definition, but whatever I have understood, I just let it out. I kind of rearranged these sentences so that it might help me to remember. I don't know if it might help you also. So anyways, the epidemiology is equals to, it's like a equation. Okay, so physics things that is helpful to remember. So what is epidemiology? Epidemiology is nothing but it is the study of occurrence and distribution plus determinants. And will we leave until that? No. After determinants also we have application of the knowledge of medicine in order to control and treat. But the main thing is to prevent. See, if we are not focused on prevention, then we cannot do this repeatedly. If we are like that quote, what is that quote? Prevention is better than cure. So rather, that is the prevention topic is very important. Like we have to prevent. It's not fun to get disease and then getting cure. Okay, that's not funny. It's a serious thing. Many people, they suffer, they lose their money. Okay, so that's very much can be avoidable if prevention is taken care of. So that is why prevention is very important. So at the end, what are we trying to do? What come up with is the prevention. How can we prevent so that there is no disease, so that there is no burden of doing all this much? That is why you study you study a disease, see what are the things can be done to just prevent so that it doesn't occur. But it's not ideal world, okay? No matter what we do, no matter how much we try, there will be something or other that will come and hit. Again, we'll try to study that, and everything will again keeps happening. So that's why epidemiology equals study of occurrence and distribution plus determinants. Along with that, the application part, application of the knowledge to prevent or control or treat. Okay, main is to prevent so that it doesn't happen next time. Okay, so this is the entire summary of the definition. So let me just rearrange the stuffs. And that was all about it. Thank you.